Okay, so the first thing you do is put the empty jar on the scale. We'll turn the scale on. Okay, and you put the empty jar on. You probably want to change it to grams. You can find it the easiest. Okay, and then you can tare it. Beauty, so it starts at 0. Now you can open up the lid. Both lids. Alright, and then you can pour in 100 grams of the starter that was in the fridge. Usually I literally just, you can dump it, you don't have to put the spoon in.
It's a bit gray.
That's okay, the top usually does that a little bit.
It went from 99 to 101.
That's fine.
It's ruined.
Alright, great. So now, you just need to pour in equal parts of flour and water.
How much flour?
101. So you can either tare it or do the math. So how many grams will you be needing?
I will be needing 101 to make it 102.
No, not 102.
202.
Yes. It's gonna take like, I don't know, at least 5 scoops. Beauty. Okay, and now you can take the distilled water. And how much are you gonna be pouring it in until?
303.
Very good.
It's ruined.
305? That's fine. All right, now just stir it right up. Great, is it all stirred up? Okay, so that's what it looks like. You can pull a spoon out so you can kind of see the consistency. Usually with my fingers, I get that off and put it in. Okay, well, didn't really get a good view, but. Okay, yeah, it's like really, if you were to describe this using 3 adjectives, what would they be?
Blobby, slimy, and goopy.
Okay, fair enough. Great.
Stretchy.
Yeah, it's kind of like stringy. Okay, then I usually close it up like this, and then I don't seal it. Just put it like that. And then, would you be able to open the stove? Just pop it in here. Is this gonna fit? All right, and then I just let it rise. I don't turn it on or anything. And the final thing that needs to be done is, all right, you just pop that over the stove so you don't blow it up. Beauty. Yay! All right, so it's been 17 hours since we fed the starter. So this is what it's looking like now. It's pretty bubbly. It's a lot more spongy. I actually do think that this is gonna be fine. So we'll just test it out. See if it floats. I have a little glass of warm water here. I'm just gonna put some on top. Looking promising. Okay, so as you can see, it definitely is floating, which means it is ready for baking. Okay, so now I added in my starter, my warm water, and 1 cup less than the total amount of flour for the whole recipe. And so then I just, I'm gonna mix this up. And one other thing that I realized was that, so yesterday I measured out 100 grams of the starter from the fridge, and today I used the entire jar, and there was 289 grams worth of starter in there. So just so you get an idea of how much, when you feed the starter, how much starter you'll have the next day. All right, this is very difficult to mix and probably unnecessary for watching. Okay, so I mixed it all up and you can see it's like lumpy and there's like a nice bubble there popping, so we're looking great. Now all I'm gonna do is put saran wrap over top of it and then leave it to rise for 30 to 60 minutes. Usually I put it in the oven, except we just baked peppers, so the oven's a bit warm. So I'm not gonna put it in there quite yet, but I probably will in a couple minutes. I'll let it cool down. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours because, well, we went to Costco. So you can see it's steamed up a little bit, lots of nice bubbles, looking pretty good. So I'm gonna add in the rest of my flour. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to be stirring in as much flour as I can. I think you're technically supposed to use one of those fancy bread mixer things, but ain't nobody got time for that on a student budget. It's not a student anymore, but. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna mix for a while. You can stop it. Okay, so now I've mixed in pretty much as I can, and now I'm going to dump it onto this parchment paper and knead it with my hands as much as I can again. Also, don't forget to add salt. I almost did again. Preferably add it in before you add the flour because it's a lot easier to mix. But I remembered, so it's in there now. Okay, so I just dumped it on here, and it's really shaggy and it needs kneading. So I know that I'm gonna need more flour, so I'm just gonna dump on actually like a lot more right now. And then I'm just gonna start kneading it until it kind of starts to come together and doesn't get all sticky and gooey like this. Like when it's finished kneading, then it doesn't stick to the parchment paper really anymore. I think it's kind of ridiculous that I'm wearing my jacket. Okay, so now I kneaded it into a little dough ball here, and the bowl is all magically oiled up. Thank you, Sourdough. And so then I'm just gonna put the dough in and then flip it over one time so it gets oil on both sides. And then I'm going to put the saran wrap back over top and let it rise for an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour, so I'm gonna take this off, and you can see there's a few bubbles, which is pretty great. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull from the corner, and I'm gonna punch it to the other side, and I'm just gonna do that from all 4 corners, even though a circle doesn't have corners, just from 4 different directions. All right, and put it all into the middle. It just distributes the yeast. And then I'll do it again in an hour, so cover that up and put it in a nice warm place. Okay, so it's been a little over an hour, and we let the dough rise up in the warmed oven this time. So let's see how we looking. Okay, a little fluff. So are you gonna be poking the dough? Oh boy. Alright, so if you were to describe the dough using 4 adjectives, what would they be?
Sticky, thick, and rising.
Okay, so we're getting close, but we're not quite there yet. No, excuse me, you need to do the...
Pick a corner.
Yep.
Pull it over.
Okay, usually you want to go for a little more than that. That was... Yeah, okay, good. Yes. Very good. Good. And then you want to just flip the whole thing over. Sometimes I just do that so that the other sides get... There you go. Perfect. So now the new side will be on top. Alright, and back into the above for rising. So now I just put the Dutch oven into the oven as I preheat the oven, so the Dutch oven will warm up as the oven does. I'm gonna take my dough. I'm gonna get my hands all floured up. Actually, I want some flour on here before I do this. Okay, it's really airy. And it didn't all come out of the bowl. Sometimes it comes out of the bowl really nice. This time there's still some left in there. I'm just gonna shape this into a nice dough ball. Okay, so it's pretty good round, and then I'm just gonna leave it here until the oven is preheated. Just wanna just like plump it up one more time, make it into the roundest dough ball that I can so it'll rise the most. There's lots of big bubbles on top, so that's great. And then the last thing I wanna do, I usually dip my knife in flour, and then I cut an X across the top, which really helps it rise as well. Don't have the proper shearing knives for this, but I just kind of go for it. Okay, so there we go. And now I just took my Dutch oven out of the oven, so it's all preheated. And I'm going to take this whole piece of parchment paper and I'm going to pop it right in here. You can take a little look at it. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to put the lid on and pop it into the oven for 20 minutes to bake with the lid on, and then you take the lid off for 20 minutes. So